So this is the only video I'm going to make about this. It's pretty damning, but to be honest, this is an important video. I'm honestly feeling like vibes from the Clone Wars here at the moment, exposing a mass deception. We're going to expose the people responsible for Disney Star Wars, and as powerless as we are in the matter, there is something that can be done. I'm sounding like a conspiracy theorist at the moment, but this is all facts that we're going to talk about, so let's cut down to the chase. Who are responsible for the low quality content we have been receiving for the past decade in Star Wars? There is definitely a decline in the quality of the stories being told in Star Wars. You may think it's Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, Rian Johnson, or Leslie Headland, although some of these people are definitely amplifiers of who to blame. The truth is that there are two individuals who are the real culprits. And the thing is that I see this on Instagram all the time. Every single Star Wars post, there's this person saying, fire this person button, fire that person button, put Dave Filoni in charge, replace Kathleen Kennedy with Jon Favreau, whatever the case may be. Everyone doesn't realize that there are culprits out there that are above these people. There's a lot going on, but to put it simply, Star Wars lacks storytelling and places an emphasis, a big emphasis on inclusivity. Directors and producers often get blamed for Disney Star Wars content focusing on inclusivity over storytelling, significantly over storytelling, and granted, they are partly at fault. However, the real culprits who absolutely deserve the majority of the blame behind this whole mess are Latondra Newton and Dana Walden of Disney. Let's start with Latondra Newton, Disney's former Chief Diversity Officer. Newton played a significant role in shaping Disney's diversity and inclusion policies. While her role was crucial for fostering inclusivity within the company, her occupation in her role left a substantial mark on how Disney performs its business. The push for diversity and inclusivity has been prioritized over traditional storytelling elements, which is part of the reason for the low-quality Star Wars projects we have seen. Now let's look at some examples of how DEI impacted storytelling. Now if you like these concepts, all power to you, but just know that these concepts are primarily fueled by DEI and not for the fans to experience the best of storytelling. Some of these examples include Reva overshadowing Obi-Wan, Rey besting Luke Skywalker, Poe Dameron submitting to Admiral Holdo, Rose Tico overshadowing Finn's character development. This is just to name a few. These concepts are a display of boxes being checked for Latondra's DEI policies within Disney. It affects their corporate culture as well as story elements in Disney Star Wars for the sake of dogmatically following DEI over storytelling in Star Wars. It is no wonder you have these directors dipping out. Inclusivity always existed in Star Wars, but directors that left projects like David Lindelof refused to be a lapdog for corporate policy. These are all examples of how storytelling has suffered as a result. Latondra's initiatives undoubtedly influenced the creative direction, but it's essential to understand that she wasn't alone in this. Next we have Dana Walden, chairman of Disney Star Wars General Entertainment Content. Walden oversees a vast array of content including the Star Wars franchise. Her role includes greenlighting projects and making critical decisions about what gets produced. While Walden has significant influence over the overall direction and business strategy of Disney's television and streaming content, her impact on Lucasfilm specifically is more indirect. That said, Walden's decisions still significantly affect the creativity and direction and strategic priorities for Disney's content, with a strong emphasis on DEI, which includes content in Star Wars. While Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni are involved in the day-to-day management and creative aspects, they ultimately have to work within the parameters set by executives like Walden. If there's a disconnect between the fans and what's being produced, it is the high-level executives who are steering the ship. So why should Latondra Newton and Dana Walden be held accountable? It's because they have the power to shape the broader direction and priorities of Disney's content strategy. Newton's DEI policies and Walden's executive decisions based strongly on those policies directly impact the types of stories being told and the way they are presented in Star Wars. So why can't the likes of Bob Iger step in? While Bob Iger has substantial power within Disney, his ability to make specific changes regarding Star Wars content is limited by the need to respect delegated authority, navigate legal and employment constraints, and maintain the delicate balance between various corporate priorities which we know are set and enforced by Latondra and Dana. While it's easy to point fingers at Kennedy and Filoni, the reality is that they are working within the framework set by the higher-ups. If fans are dissatisfied with the direction of Star Wars, it's important to understand who's truly calling the shots. Now let's not get it twisted. Kathleen Kennedy's approach to have 3 different directors for the sequels and have each one of them finish the previous director's story was abysmal, and I do believe that's a big fault of hers. As much as Rey Palpatine was a Mary Sue type character, this worked within the parameters set by the higher-ups, again to emphasize Latondra Newton's policies and Dana Walden enforcing those policies. The sad part is, if I were to tell you today that Kathleen Kennedy has been fired, the overarching problem would still exist. Now let's conclude what we've been talking about and discuss a solution. While Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni are often in the spotlight, Latondra Newton and Dana Walden are the ones who have done the most damage to Disney's content strategy. Newton, despite having left Disney, left a significant mark on how the company operates. If you're frustrated with the current state of Star Wars, it's time to look at the decisions being made at the top. Now we have to address this in a realistic and impartial fashion, and as much as I'm quite angry with this terrible decade plus of mismanagement, we have to be realistic. Disney needs to find a better balance between inclusivity and storytelling quality. Now after this video, your thoughts probably are not towards firing Kathleen Kennedy because we know that will make little difference. So let's fire Dana Walden, right? Or in fact, anyone making decisions for low quality Star Wars content. However, instead of focusing on individual dismissals, which could lead to claims of unfair dismissal and are complex to manage, Disney/Bob Iger should implement new oversight mechanisms in the form of the very thing that destroyed Star Wars: new policies. These policies should ensure that creative decisions are guided by, first and foremost, strong narratives while maintaining some diverse representation. George Lucas did this incredibly well, and this in turn will honor him as the creator. Overall, put policies in place to ensure the Star Wars community is assured the quality it deserves. Once storytelling is paramount, I can then be sure that we will see a consistent, better Star Wars. Now if my previous videos show anything, it's that I'm very active in the comments section, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with us all.